Elden Ring's combat mechanics are not only the greatest out of all the FromSoft games I've played, but in my opinion, Elden Ring has the best melee combat and overall boss roster I've ever experienced in gaming, period. Yes, even including Sekiro and the recently released Lies of P. Elden Ring for me is the perfect combination, integrating the dodging of Dark Souls and aggression of Sekiro into a single package. All the footage you're gonna see in this video are my personal attempts at understanding Margit as level 1 Wretch club only build in my most recent playthrough. Unlike what some people say, the boss battles in Elden Ring are reinforcing aggression by the invincible posture mechanic, and there are a variety of directional dodges you need to successfully make to be rewarded by a narrow punish window. None of the boss attacks in Elden Ring is telegraphed. You don't know, unlike in Sekiro, what to Mikiri counter or jump attack. On top of that, there are combo extensions of the bosses relative to your positioning. All of this in combination makes Elden Ring's bosses and combat mechanics significantly more challenging than all the previous FromSoft games. In fact, Elden Ring is so challenging that majority of the player base of Elden Ring prefers to bait out the boss for 1 or 2 safe attacks and simply running away for the rest. Rarely, if ever, posture breaking and feeling bored waiting for the boss to finish his 10-move long combo, waiting for your turn to attack. In this video, I'll make the argument that, in my opinion, this is the wrong mindset approaching Elden Ring's bosses. And to strengthen my argument, I want to give an example from a beloved game by fans. Sekiro. Imagine how stupid you would look to everyone else trying to defeat a boss in Sekiro by purely chipping away at his health and never parrying, constantly running away, baiting out 1 or 2 attacks to safely hit, effectively making not only the boss less fun and engaging, but also extremely tedious and time-consuming. I suggest that you extend that same logic to Elden Ring, in regards to the fun factor being reduced when you play passively and baiting out only a few attacks. That's what most people playing Elden Ring are doing without realizing, making the game less fun by playing passively. In Elden Ring, since there is no clear indication that aggression is the most important gameplay mechanic and posture bar is not visible like in Sekiro, you might think it is less important. It is possible to play Elden Ring without posture breaking a single boss. You can also use bunch of items, bombs, magics, incantations, ashes of war, and mimic tears against all the bosses to varying degrees of effectiveness. You can even farm runes and one-shot bosses with a well-prepared build, turning Elden Ring into a power fantasy. See, all of this is in a spectrum, and if you enjoy those things I've listed, all the power to you. And what I'm about to discuss in this video won't take away anything from that. If you have fun, that's what matters. This video is for people who are not enjoying or understanding what is fun about Elden Ring's bosses. Especially I wanted to do this because Joseph Anderson's video on Elden Ring's bosses have created this misguided and unnecessary hate towards the design decisions FromSoft has made when it comes to the bosses in Elden Ring. People all of a sudden started to make videos about how the bosses in Elden Ring are unfair and how it forces you to play passively, how there's no openings for you to attack, how you have to use mimic tears to defeat bosses like Malenia to make the gameplay less frustrating and balanced. In my opinion, these are not accurate inferences that arises from investigation of the gameplay mechanics. The sheer fact that the posture bar is added in Elden Ring is a testament that the developers are expecting you to play more aggressively, not passively, especially in comparison to previous Souls games like Dark Souls 1. In a sense, this video will be a defense of Elden Ring's boss design, showing how this game is not only an amalgamation of Sekiro and Dark Souls, but also a unique beast of its own, an experience you won't get any other way. In my opinion, the most enjoyable way to play Elden Ring is to play it like Sekiro, to learn complex directional dodging patterns and posture break the bosses preferably with a melee weapon. That's how I like to play. Charged attacks, jump attacks, directional repositioning, and roll attacks, making sure the posture bar never resets. And I want to start this video by showing how I played one of the most mechanically complex first boss FromSoft has ever created, Margit, and how Margit taught me how to play the game so early into my playthrough, not only providing an incredible experience on its own right, but also making sure I had the right mindset, the right attitude for the rest of this adventure. As a newcomer to this new boss design in Elden Ring, initially I had the same issues like everyone else. Here is how my gameplay looked like as a beginner. All of this footage you're watching right now is my level 1 Reg Club only recent playthrough, and as you can see from the gameplay, at first I was struggling big time. I've never used a club not only in Elden Ring but in any Souls game, so I'm not familiar with the timings of this weapon. Margit is an extremely formidable opponent for a first boss. He keeps an insane level of aggression, especially in the second phase, and expects you to keep up with this dance to even get a chance of getting a hit in. Margit is an incredible first boss because it teaches you all the mechanics you need to learn to master the rest of the bosses. As you can see from this footage, I'm struggling to understand when to dodge in which direction and how much time do I have to punish Margit before I have to dodge again to avoid getting hit. This is the moment of learning all of us go through, understanding the combo extensions Margit has depending on where you are. This is the moment where you're slowly getting good. Mistakes still occur, but you have a better sense of flow, control, and confidence in taking his attacks head on. And the key to becoming intermediate is to have this confidence and experimental attitude towards the boss patterns. Here is my run where I'm around the intermediate skill level, having a grasp of some of Margit's movesets, yet still making mistakes and getting punished as a result.
Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished. Put these foolish ambitions to rest.
Now let me explain what's happening here. In order to get to an advanced or master level of playing, you need to understand that there is not just one way to punish a boss's attack. For every weapon in Elden Ring, there are multiple ways of punishing a boss for almost each of their attacks. This introduces an incredible level of creativity and complexity. The combinations and permutations get to mind-bending levels when you include weapon variety in Elden Ring. You can always prefer slightly safer punishes or take more risk getting damaged, but as a trade-off, attack more relentlessly for those posture breaks. And this change in mindset is also completely changing your directional dodging and attacking style as a result. For instance, if you're behind Margit when he jumps on you, he has a tendency to do a tail swipe attack, and you can punish it with a jump R2, maintaining the pressure on the posture bar. If this seems risky to you, as sometimes you can be late for this particular jump, you can roll into Margit and do a quick roll attack to make sure you keep the posture bar going. It is safer, but also results in less posture damage. This means if you can't maintain even more aggression going forward to compensate, the posture bar will reset and you won't posture break the boss. If you're facing Margit directly after most of his sword attacks, he has a tendency to quickly attack with lightning daggers, making sure you can't punish him from the right side. Either you will learn this combo extension and dodge those quick daggers to get the punish, or experiment with dodging to the left or backwards for completely new punish windows. See, this is the beauty of Elden Ring's combat that is missing in games like Sekiro or Lies of P. In Sekiro, when you see that glow in the final boss fight Ishin, you know exactly what to do. Parry a few times and get your punish window. You don't have to worry about which direction to dodge or how to do the attack to not get punished yourself in the next combo. It is much more straightforward. It feels more mechanical and less like I'm actually fighting an unpredictable and formidable opponent. Not only the attacks in Sekiro are highly telegraphed clearly to the player in terms of what attacks are jumpable or what attacks can be done Mikiri counter or parry, but the posture bar is literally visible, making it easier for you to balance your level of aggression. Always knowing when to consolidate and take a breather to drink some of that potion. All of these are great for what Sekiro set out to do, yet I hope you can see the complexity and depth Elden Ring's combat has added into this formula. Instead of spamming parry and being stationary to punish most of the boss's attacks, Elden Ring demands significantly more from the player. You need to intuitively sense if the boss is close to a posture break by being constantly aggressive. No bar is visible. You can't use aggression as a clutch and always need to think if getting hit is a risk you can take as a trade-off to being active. This adds one form of challenge. But then you also need to analyze the complex pattern of the boss, his combo extensions relative to your positioning. Find a directional dodging technique that works for your weapon out of the multiple available to you for any given boss attack. Find a suitable attack of your own that doesn't lead you getting punished, and then have enough stamina left to get out of the way to react to the next combo of the boss. Rinse and repeat. This flow that I've just listed and the dance that it creates is a new combat mechanic Elden Ring has introduced. This is so satisfying that I was playing the game in awe the entire time. This is the point where I was starting to get actually good. A deeper grasp of not only the timings of my weapon but Margit's strategies as well. The following run is the culmination of my mastery over the Elden Ring's combat mechanics. Mind you, this is not a no-hit run. It's actually possible to no-hit all of these bosses, but with this following run, I want to show you how even if you make mistakes here and there, even if your dodges are not perfect, or your punishing style is not perfect, you can still absolutely demolish the bosses if you learned how to play aggressively with this mindset that I've just described. In fact, I defeated Margit with such an insane level of aggression that throughout the entire fight, he never quite found the rhythm of his own. I knew not only how to react to him, but also how to appropriately punish him by actively creating punish windows of my own, with charged R2s, normal R2s, jump attacks, and even roll R1s, all in the name of maintaining the momentum of aggression. I will now let this understanding speak for itself without my commentary. Enjoy!
Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished. Smoldering with thy meager flame, cower in fear of the night. The hands of the fell omen shall brook thee no quarter.
Hello everyone, if you enjoyed this Elden Ring combat analysis, give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe to support the channel. I hope with this video I was able to convey what I find so fascinating and incredible about Elden Ring's combat and boss design. I hope it inspires you to play more aggressively next time you face these bosses. In fact, the DLC bosses are on their way. A chance for all of us to get good one last time.